First up, a Skyliner meltdown from a guest who thought she'd waited in line too long and made sure everyone around her knew it.
Skyliner Karen. Understandably, it's not fun waiting around when a ride breaks down when you desperately want to experience it. However, it's probably not a good idea to complain loudly in the queue with language that can turn the floor to air blue as children stand around.
I'm sure you've said worse in front of your kid. No, I haven't.
Yet in 2023, one woman decided this was the perfect choice after Walt Disney World's Skyliner broke for an hour. Sitting on a scooter, she was issuing one swear word after another out loud, causing other guests to admonish her behavior.
Say what you started.
At the end of the night, too, everybody is just done.
Did she take their criticism on board? Kinda. Skyliner Karen swore more at them and flipped the bird before she continued sulking at her new title of being a Disney villain.
Yikes. That is some entitlement right there. Nobody wants to wait in line, honey. Nobody wants to wait in line. And now it's time for the segment where entitlement and mayhem don't just show up, they take the wheel. Welcome to this week's Mayhem Hall of Shame.
I want to talk to your manager!
Today's Mayhem Hall of Shame goes to the adults who thought they were too important to wait in line and started throwing punches when their entitled, rude behavior got called out.
Summer is a great opportunity to share new experiences with your kids, like going to the amusement park. But after spending hours in long lines and scorching heat, fuses can be short and things can get fiery fast. According to bystanders, these three women seemingly cut in line in front of this family of four.
So rude.
One of the mothers, the woman in the pink baseball cap, has some words for the woman in gray.
Yeah, did they just think people just weren't going to say something?
Things quickly escalate into a physical fight. And the woman in yellow crashes into her own daughter.
They're so much bigger, too.
The woman in pink grabs the hair of the woman in black. And she even takes a swing at her with a cane. Bystanders watch in horror as the grown women brawl violently in front of their kids.
Yikes. Oh my God. Jeez.
Are you all right?
Ridiculous.
Are you okay? You need to get yourself checked.
Where's my cane?
Right here.
Two people require medical attention, and one person
Oh my
is taken to the
gosh.
hospital for severe swelling and a laceration on her eye.
Oh my gosh.
And what happened to the women who allegedly cut in line? All three women involved were found guilty of assault and battery. And
Good.
they were sentenced to 24 months in prison plus probation.
Dang. That's crazy. Good. Called accountability. I love it. Next, a guest decided she was entitled to talk on the phone during MuppetVision 3D, then played the victim after attacking another guest who simply asked her to hang up. Sometimes it's hard to believe these people actually exist.
From WDW News Today, Florida woman answers phone call inside MuppetVision 3D during final days, leads to arrest. What? This is by Britt Tuttle here, published July 29, 2025. In the final weeks of MuppetVision 3D, as people said goodbye to the beloved attraction, a fight broke out between two guests that led to an arrest. Whoa! That's no good right here. This is a pretty long one, so I think I might actually put some B-roll on here and then read this for you guys because, you know, it's gonna look a little dry when we just have a wall of text up on the screen. So there you go. How about that? The dramatic scene happened on May 15th, according to the Orange County Sheriff's Office arrest report that was recently released, which is why Walt Disney World News Today is writing about this instead. Now, a female victim, whose age was not listed, and her mom were watching the show, that being MuppetVision 3D, and heard the announcement reminding people not to use their cell phones. Around that time, Will Marie Ruiz Rodriguez, 27, of Spring Hill, answered her phone at the theater. The victim leaned over and asked Will Marie, or Ruiz Rodriguez, to politely stop her conversation since the show was going to start shortly. She said that Ruiz Rodriguez told her to, quote, it's a quote here, guys, sorry, maybe the little ones, close your ears. Shut the blank up, you stupid little blank, the arrest report said. Ruiz Rodriguez
entitled.
also insulted the victim's mom, calling her a blank also. The victim and Ruiz Rodriguez watched the show apparently uneventfully until they both left the theater at the end. Perhaps it was the last time that they would both see the Disney's Hollywood Studios show because it closed less than a month later. Walking out of the theater, the victim said that she was scared of Ruiz Rodriguez and decided to record her on her cell phone to document in case of any other confrontations taking place. Ruiz Rodriguez realized that she was being recorded and struck the victim, who dropped the phone and stopped recording. When the victim picked up the phone off the ground, Ruiz Rodriguez snatched it and hurled the phone 30 to 50 feet away. Meanwhile, law enforcement tracked down Ruiz Rodriguez in the park to hear her side of the story.
Some people are
Will Marie said that while she was in the theater, she received a phone call from her mother-in-law about her dog. As she was speaking to her mother-in-law,
then go
she
out
said
of the
victim
theater.
leaned over and told her in a nasty tone that she was not supposed to be on her cell phone, the arrest report said. Will Marie ignored her and finished her conversation prior to the show starting. When the show ended, Ruiz Rodriguez's husband urged her to ignore the victim. However, Ruiz Rodriguez said that she looked back and saw the victim filming her, which she considered to be harassment. Will Marie said that she walked towards the victim, pushed her,
filming
and
is
in the
also
process
annoying,
knocked her phone out of her hand. Will Marie said that when the victim picked up the phone back, she proceeded to grab the phone from her and throw it away from her into a crowd. I guess the alleged assailant here is pleading not guilty to battery, principal to robbery, sudden snatching, and criminal mischief charges. And her defense lawyer did not respond to request for comment.
How do you plead not guilty when your account basically you admit to doing the thing that you...
Yes.
Right? Yikes, that is some crazy entitlement. The wheels have already fallen off, so we might as well go off the rails.
Weirdest thing. Come along and laugh with me at this crazy comedy.
One family thought they were above the rules and put a loud alarm on their stroller. When cast members tried to move it from a no stroller parking zone, it went off. The entitlement on this one is truly alarming.
Somebody had an alarm on their stroller. How insane is that? That is just over the top extra. Watch this.
Yeah, sorry, that one's really short, but basically people put a stroller on their alarm so it couldn't be moved. And when it was moved, it set off a loud alarm for everybody to have to endure because they didn't want anybody touching their stroller, not even cast members. Because the rules don't apply to them and they are entitled. And of course, we can't discuss entitled theme park guests without mentioning at least one content creator treating the parks like their own personal recording studio. Other guests too.
It truly feels like every day something absurd happens, either at Disney World or Disneyland. Disney World visitors slammed for incredibly obnoxious social media-fueled behavior. Takes the magic out of visiting the parks. And you might be thinking, well, it's probably just somebody recording on their phone, getting in the way of people, whatever the case may be. But it's actually much worse than that. Take a look at this guy's camera setup. He has what looks to be 2 iPhones and some sort of maybe GoPro or tiny camera on the top there. Power banks. This setup is massive. He's walking around with this giant rig,
to walk around with something like that.
Getting in the way of people who are there on vacation, have spent their hard-earned money, just want to simply enjoy themselves and everything around them in the Magic Kingdom. And then you have this guy walking around with a, I don't even know what you want to call that. It's one thing if you're walking around with a phone on a tripod or a gimbal and not being a total obnoxious loser about it, but it's another thing completely to be walking around with whatever that is. And we have one of the runners or co-owners of a channel called Park Hopping, a YouTube channel that covers all theme parks very extensively. And here's what he had to say about this situation.
If more and more people start
sorry if the sound is weird on your end.
this rig, they're definitely going to either limit or completely stop it altogether, where people will then just have to watch vlogs from the park.
And at the end of the day, if Disney did end up banning this and banning people from live streaming in the park, that would simply be another Disney disaster, because that is free promotion. People paying to show up to the park, to record it or stream it for other people to watch. It's literally free advertising.
And finally, it's time to restore the magic with today's magical vibe protector of the week. Today's MVP goes to the sweetest little boy, showing his respect to every princess in the parade at Disney World. The adults from today's episode could definitely learn a thing or two from this respectful kiddo.
I have died every day waiting for you. Darling, don't be afraid. I loved you for 1,000.
Oh my gosh, melt my heart.
I love you for 1,000.
Oh my gosh. That is literally one of the cutest things I've ever seen in my life. What a wonderful little boy. That is what the magic of the parks is all about right there. Thanks for joining me today on this magical disaster ride. If you'd like to support the channel, the best way you can do that is to make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and hit the bell so you never miss the mayhem. I'm incredibly grateful for all of the support so far. Until next time, keep your hands, feet, and sanity inside the vehicle at all times. And remember, protect the magic and mock the mayhem. I'll catch you on the next breakdown.